I watch him as he sleeps. The Superman shirt that he has worn for 5 weeks straight, emanating with the manly, musky odor of him, my lord and master of our Brotherhood. What dreams is he dreaming? I know that tomorrow he will rise and create new videos for our YouTube channel. It has been a long and hard journey, but he will not falter.
What the f- Welcome back to the Brotherhood Gamer Review Show, the only video game review show that can tell you who Trevor Belmont's real mother and father is. I'm your host, William Morris.
And I'm Eugene Morris.
And we're here to tell you our opinion on the long-awaited finale of Lords of Shadow 2.
So, without any further ado or gilding the lily, let's jump on in, shall we? Like any new take on an established franchise, it had its fans and its detractors. But one thing is for certain. No matter which side of the fence you stood on, this game made a loud and clear statement.
Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 concludes the story of Gabriel Belmont, which started in 2010, with a very slick reimagining of the long and running Castlevania franchise. So, exactly how does Gabriel Belmont's story conclude in this Castlevania adventure? Let's play it and find out.
As much as we would like to say that Lords of Shadow 2 picks up right where the last game left off, that's really not the case. Konami went into great effort to tell a story from different angles, time periods, and perspectives. Nothing is at all what it seems when it's presented to you. Eventually, after a tutorial level, you pick up where the secret ending of Lords of Shadow 1 left off.
It is now present-day, modern-day Transylvania. Gabriel, now in the form of Dracula, is in a weakened state when he comes across a mysterious man in metal. Afterward, he has a reunion with his former comrade slash backstabber slash stalker, Patrick Zobek Stewart, where he explains that Satan has an imminent return. Your goal is to seize the initiative and prevent this at all cost. We won't go too in depth since we don't want to create massive spoilers. Heck, we've kind of said too much already.
The adventure will take you to some many places familiar and new, as well as introduce you to familiar faces and some neat surprises. The story is detailed well, and it was a joy to progress through, and it builds upon the foundation that was started in Lords of Shadow 1, continued in Mirrors of Fate, and will be concluded in this final installment, wrapped in a nice bow.
It is a lot like Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And we feel that there is absolutely no need to continue down this path. Any further storytelling here would just be a quick cash grab. The story concludes satisfactory, and now it would be a good idea to return to the previous series. There are plenty of interesting stories left untold in the main Castlevania universe.
We view Lords of Shadow as an awesome Elseworld tale, similar to Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. Man, we sure are bringing up Batman a lot, aren't we? Well, let's get this back on track. If you're familiar with Lords of Shadow 1, be happy. The gameplay mechanics return with a few new quirks. Gabriel is not exactly human now, so he now has access to new powers. Although the vampire killer is not in his possession, he does have a nice substitute. With his aura, he fights with a chain whip with single strikes and area attacks.
You can press the shoulder buttons to bring out additional weapons like the Void Sword, which would replenish your health upon attacking foes, freeze waterfalls, which allow you to climb them, as well as freeze enemies via projectiles. Another weapon is the Dark Claws, which have the ability of fire. These serve as your heavy attacks that you can use to break through your opponent's defenses. It can also be used as ranged attacks on obstacles that may be blocking your journey.
Like any good RPG element, you can level up your attacks and items via the skill list. You gain points by beating the stuffing out of opponents and using them to upgrade your powers, which allow you to dish out more lethal combos. You also have in your possession sub-items such as red mist, bats, knives, and regeneration potions. These can be picked up after defeating enemies.
As you progress through the game, you will gain more access to these as well as other cool powers like the double jump later on. In terms of combat, that pretty much covers it. However, there is a new mechanic that was introduced to further the game. The stealth, which we felt was kinda hit and miss. Certain areas in the game will have Gabriel start a stealth mode, which will not allow him to do any attacks, but instead force you to strategically plan out your path to success. Getting caught won't be pretty, as it will result in immediate failure.
You can, however, use your sub-items to help the situation, like using the bats for a distraction, sneaking up on foes, and using possession to walk by them. Or, if available, you can look for shadow areas where Gabriel can transform into a form of a rat and use vents to gain access to areas. This new element may feel like a real chore sometimes, as it's more or less a puzzle to solve. Most probably will not like this new feature. Fortunately, they do not last long. At least there is variety in how the stealth mode plays out.
Minor annoyance aside, veterans of Lords of Shadow will be surprised as the adventure is not level-based, but instead features a huge overworld, connecting huge parts of the city as well as the past, like Gabriel's castle, the fiery underworld, and other exotic places. It has a Symphony of the Night kind of feel to it, but instead of a castle, it's pretty much a whole city. A lot of these places can only become accessible after you attain special abilities. Unfortunately, there really is no quick jump option, so you will be forced to tread back and forth all over the place.
Some won't find this a problem, and if you're familiar with Arkham City, well, it's sort of the same idea. Damn again with Batman. I guess we just have Batman on the mind. While treading new ground, you will gain easy access to certain places, like an item shop and a way to the past via magical portals, which you can use only at certain locations. This will be necessary to find all the hidden secrets that you no doubt will have missed along the way.
Speaking of shopping, small trinkets can be purchased to aid you, or just out of convenience. Not much to it. Other secrets, like before, will be these things, which will allow you to increase your vitality and weapons energy. Gaining access to them all will be the struggle, as well as finding other hidden objects. This game will definitely keep you busy. Of course, enemies new and old will show up throughout the areas to keep you on your toes. Using combinations of all that you have learned will, however, keep you ahead just like before. With equally amazing sights to see, bosses to fight, reaction commands to ignite, Lords of Shadow 2 offers gameplay which has been done and seen numerous times in either its own game or many others.
But that doesn't at all mean it's bad, but it's not entirely new either. If you enjoyed it before, there's hardly a reason that you won't now. Some areas are kind of stale, but otherwise we couldn't put it down. If you like action games, there isn't any real reason to stay away. Just a couple of eye rollers here and there. You have a world map which is good to have, and it certainly doesn't treat you like an idiot. It may tell you where your destination is, but how you get there is your problem. Classic, indeed.
Not much to say here, but the all-star cast has returned to deliver their lines for the final installment, and the score once again serves to be just as fitting to the scenery. Some of them are from the first game, but most of them will blend into the backgrounds to the point that you won't even notice that they're there until an enemy shows up and then you hear the change. Not as good as the first game, but no, we don't hate it. It does its job. Let's face it, this game actually had a really tough act to follow.
As the standard for this generation, or at least as far as the Xbox and PlayStation 3 go, they do well to immerse you into the world it created. The visuals haven't changed from the previous game, or if they did, we sure couldn't tell, as the graphics, though great to have, don't make the game great. Sure, being the times they are a necessity, and God forbid you if you have anything less than, but fortunately, everything is pleasing to the eye.
Overall, Castlevania Lords of Shadow has been the subject of love it or hate it ever since its debut years ago, and it hasn't gone away. If you didn't like it before, there is nothing here that's going to change your mind. And if you were on board prior, then no doubt you will see it through to the end. It did manage to stay consistent enough in the aspects that made it what it was. In a lot of ways, people could make the argument that it was Castlevania in name alone, with a brief mention of a few other characters in its history.
Others would say it was necessary to revamp a story that got way too ambitious for its own good, and they were delightful to see it with a fresh point of view while staying faithful to the roots of its succession. Dracula was still Dracula. The Belmonts existed and had a role to play in defeating him, leading to both parties gaining an ultimate revelation when it came to good versus evil.
The answers weren't always black and white, and the end result is nothing less than satisfactory. Like the novels featured in the openings of the games, this game has made history.
The bottom line is, no matter how it's delivered, Castlevania will always be
Castlevania. You've been watching the Brotherhood of Gaming, and until next time, keep on gaming, viewers.